This week on Now Here with Chris and Kell.
Check this out. Look what else we did.
Yeah.
Today we're after a rigging tensioner. There's someone here in the yard that has one that's going to let me borrow it, and then we're going to make sure that Drifter's rigging is all fit as a fiddle.
Cabrales Boat Yard is one of the better DIY yards in Mexico. A lot of folks here are doing the same thing we are, so there's a built-in community of sailors and we all help each other out from time to time.
Got it. He asked me if I know how to use it, and I know in theory, but we might have to watch a video on it.
As you know, we're avid students of YouTube school, so Chris got online and found some tutorials.
Okay, I'm just gonna go get all the measurements that we have right now. I doubt that I'll be able to get the forestay, but you got the forestay, port side stay.
You got the forward port shroud, the aft port shroud, forward starboard shroud, and aft starboard shroud. And then the starboard stay, you got the port aft stay and the
Forward aft stay. We are shooting for a tension of 11%, which is 17 on that scale out there based on our 9/32 rigging. That is crazy. So I'm gonna go through and get all the readings for that, and then we'll figure out a game plan for making it good. The way this thing works is you put your stay in like this, and then you pull this over to the shroud, and it gives you a score. Then you take that score, look at 9/32, and we figure out that we want 11%. That's about ideal, and so we want a scale of 17 on this up here. Right now we're at about 11, which seems like good, but if you go down to the scale, 11 on this thing is only 6%, so we're going to need to tighten that, which we already knew. It's relatively loose right now. I loosened everything a little bit when it came out of the water, but I want to balance it. I want to make sure that the mast is straight and all that fun stuff.
Chris then proceeded to get all the measurements we needed throughout the boat.
Here's the totals I could get. The 15, that's the port side, that's the strongest, and these two are weaker than the aft side ones. That's at 11. I think we're actually gonna have to loosen this. So by the time we tighten this to the 17 we want, that should be pretty tight as well. So it's gonna be a balancing act. Here we go. First we gotta pull out all the cotter pins. This is about to be hours of work and super boring, so I'll spare you.
Oh, thank God.
Pretty close to 17 when you say, about 16.8762, I think.
That's where we want to be. It's a sweet spot.
17 equals 11% on 9/32, which is exactly where we want to be. That was quite a process, man. I had to straighten the mast because it felt like it was going a little to the port side, and the rigging is solid now, baby. That'll save you some time if you ever have to do this, is realize that tightening this side also tightens that side a little bit. So I took this side to 15, tightened that one to 17, and now they're both measuring at 17.
Nice.
Yeah, that took some learning. That was actually the first time I've ever used one of these rigging tensioners on the boat, and I'm glad we did. It's balanced, everything's the same tightness. Reassuring, even though we had no trouble getting down here. The rigger that we use, he's an old hat at it, so he just did it by feel. That's one job checked off the list. The next thing I'm going to tackle is getting this new dinghy seaworthy. I heard it has a bit of a slow leak that we might have to deal with, so we're going to pump it up and bring it on deck.
Our time in Puerto Penasco was coming to an end, and we were not at all sad about this. We were both looking forward to cruising again. At this point, it had been 5 months since Drifter had been anywhere else.
Today is a gorgeous day, but in the not too distant future, there's supposed to be some pretty nasty, windy weather coming our way. So we are going to spend one more week in the marina at Frederico's here in Puerto Penasco, get some projects done, let the weather pass, and then we're headed out. We're gonna head south to a place called Baja Willard, of all places. Someone told me that, I thought I heard him wrong, because that sounds about the least Mexican thing I've ever heard, Willard. But it's supposed to be a cool little spot. For now, we're here. And it's pretty great to be back, I gotta be honest.
Yeah, it was pretty great to be back living on Drifter again, especially knowing we were close to departure, and the desire to get back out cruising was building every day.
Go!
We were definitely making the most of our stay in the marina, doing all the projects that we wouldn't be able to do while at anchor. For example, remarking our anchor chains.
Up. Since we're out, I wanted to paint the chain. We gave the chain a good scrub, and you can see where we cleaned it and where we didn't. But here are the first two greens. There are 3 of each, every 10 meters. This is the closest one to the water, and this is the one that gets in there second. These usually go in the water. Blues almost always go in the water. I can't remember a time when we only put out 100 feet of chain. You can see the blue, which is lower, has held up way better than the green. And then the red looks pretty great too.
This is after 5 months of cruising around in saltwater.
They didn't have the color I wanted in all 3, so we used 2 different brands of paint, and one holds up way better than the other. This is Krylon, and that is...
Actually, this is Krylon, and the other 2 are Rust-Oleum products. They're holding up a lot better. Anyway, what's the game plan, Chief?
Basically, we're gonna put a piece of cardboard underneath and give them a fresh spray.
Chris first gave the chain a good Dawn scrub and let it air dry in preparation for paint.
Hola! I'm gonna start with the green, just to give it as many coats as I can. Line it all up. This will probably take several shakes and coats because obviously you can't get it all just like that. You should probably find tape or something to put over that, and then we'll go to town. Kelly! Kelly, I need the big fat painter's tape in the V-berth, Kelly! Thanks, dude! Coat number 1 of at least 3. We'll let that dry, flip it over, and hit it again.
And while we wait on that to dry...
See this hunk of plastic?
Yep.
This took forever for us to get. We ordered one. Here's our... Thanks. Nice segue, babe. This is the one we were going to use in case of emergency, or I just basically epoxied it back together. And really, it's not that bad.
Let's get a close-up of this Frankenstein action.
Hey, man. Like, it would work,
Would you trust that?
Yeah, I would.
I wouldn't. That's why we have another one.
Well, come look. Here's what I was gonna do. So it's 2 rollers, one that lives here and one that lives here. And this one is the heavy duty one that does all the work, and this one really doesn't. So I was going to put this one in the lower position and move the whole one up top. And it would have gotten us by for a while, I think. But this is better.
Yeah, it would have gotten us by for a while, I think.
Well, man, we're down
We rely on this.
We were down to it, baby.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I dropped the anchor so we can fit this back in place. It's here. We're gonna put it back on, and we should be back to 100. Just need to coerce this a little bit and then screw it in place.
And then it was time to finish spraying all the other colors.
Okay. We got the red and the green and the blue painted. I will say, out of the 3, the blue wins. This is the one that goes in first and fourth, and it looks the best out of all of them.
Like it held up the best.
Yeah, this Rust-Oleum, this is what I recommend for painting your chain.
Ding.
After 6 months in the sea. Oh yeah, that is a pretty colorful pile of chain. It looks really good. No rust, no nothing. Time to get it back on the boat.
Well, it's not like you haven't seen this before. And that's a wrap.
I'm not sure if we introduced the new thing that we got while we're in the States that Kelly absolutely loves and she cannot live without. That's not true. She hates it. She's mad at me for buying it. But it's this. Yeah, I did research. I measured this and got one that fits perfectly. So we got a griddle now. And I think when we're not using it, we can store it right here and it'll be just fine. Pardon all the crumbs. But look at that, man. I can like make some Philly cheesesteaks, some other things. We're gonna make breakfast burritos this morning. But we're gonna make this with grilled onions, leftover short ribs and eggs, and just make kind of breakfast tacos out of it. Should be delish. What's cool about having a griddle, and I really have missed it from, you know, the restaurant days when I had a 36-inch one and you could just like spread out and make burgers and anything you wanted, is your ability to separate and then combine. See, I can move all the onions over here that are nice and golden and smell delicious, and then turn down this burner and turn it into a warming burner. And then over here we can cook the eggs and warm up the steak. And when the steak's warmed up, shove them in with the onions. It's just gives you freedom. If a griddle is anything, it's just freedom, you know? Griddle equals freedom. Write that down, Kelly. No. Kelly, write it down, I said. No. Do it! Oh yeah, and I also got this. A bench scraper. Delicious short rib meat. You know, with the onions. Man, I hope you just ate. Otherwise, you're gonna be so drooly. Time for eggs. Oh, gravity's not on our side in this configuration. That's alright, we're gonna mix it all up anyway. No, 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 no going over the edge. Get up here. I'm gonna get in trouble. Making a mess. I've recovered. No mess. That you can see. Out of sight, out of mind.
Those are the worst times.
Making breakfast for you, babe. Anyway, look at that mess. Wouldn't you just be happy walking up to a food cart and seeing this slop go in your burrito? There is one thing we are missing though from the ultimate burrito, besides some sort of potato filler, which would be a really big deal and make this even better. But we're gonna go with that Osaka cheese. Yes! Look at that. Man. All right, we got our guts. There you go, nice and cheesy. Form our tortillas. Yeah. One thing I was very interested in doing when we got to Mexico is learning how to make tortillas, like getting them tortilla press and stuff like that. And then when we were in Ensenada, one of the first things someone told me was like, why would you ever make tortillas? They're like dirt cheap. You can get 20 good tortillas for less than $2. And that makes sense. I didn't think about that. So we buy them. Kelly, breakfast.
Little dab will do ya.
There you go.
Thank you.
Done our appetite. Here you go.
Okay.
Yeah, that's good. Griddles are freedom. Try a breakfast burrito.
Now what?
Check this out. Look what else we did.
Yeah. A last-minute addition to our pre-departure punch list.
Oh, magnet!
That's right. It's magnetized. That's cool. It like hangs onto it.
Yeah.
How's that Coke taste?
Mexican Coke and a breakfast burrito? I mean, come on.
Pretty solid. Pretty solid stuff. I know it may seem hard to believe, but occasionally we get sick of burritos and tacos. Sometimes it's nice to indulge in something that reminds us of home.
We wanted to share some of our favorite spots here in Puerto Penasco because we have spent a fair bit of time here. You know, like the restaurants we like to go, the places we like to shop, things like that. I don't know, just like some of the things that we've experienced while we're here.
Tonight, we're having wings at Brian's Sports Bar.
Brian's is a place that is always packed, but they have really great food specials, really great drink specials, and on Wednesdays they have 2-for-1 wings. This place has American style food and American style clientele, and they definitely cater to the tourists or the expats that live here.
Every time we've come here, it's been busy. Initially, we thought it was because some significant game was on, but turns out it's just a popular place to be. There it is.
Yes.
You can get big frosty Indio beers for just under $6. They have daily specials every day, and tonight is Wednesday, so we're here for the wings. So for $7.75 US, you get 12 wings times 2 in any flavor your little heart desires. We'll give Brian's Sports Bar a rating of 17. And if you think that's too much food, you're dead wrong. Stay tuned for this week's blooper reel, sponsored by our patrons, Rhea and Brad.
That's Kelly's arm. She has 2 of them. Don't worry, I'll get it. Kelly.
What?
Chase that pelican and make him fly like a little kid.
Yeah.
I made a bunch of quesadillas last night while I watched Cheers.